Tess?
And it's fun. So turn your mic on.
Okay, it is 5 o'clock, and so I will call the meeting to order. Roll call, Emma is gone, correct? Everyone else is here. Next thing is approval of the agenda. Do I have a motion to approve it as written? And any changes?
No changes.
Second.
All right, all in favor, aye?
Aye.
Okay, passed. Approval of the minutes, can I have a motion to approve the minutes as written? Someone want to,
I will move.
okay, we have a
Accept
second?
them.
Second. Okay, any discussion on that? Is there any changes or anything that needs, Any discussion about that? Okay, so all in favor of approving the minutes, say aye.
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 Okay, on to the next, director's report. So, you're up.
Okay. I guess, are there any questions on my written report? Oops. Hold that right that big. We are still, I guess I'll touch on a few things. We're still waiting on hardware, networking hardware. I just talked before this meeting to Andrew Schneider from IT, and he has not heard anything on the networking hardware. He's going to check on that, but once that comes in, we'll be able to finish up that, write the final report, submit all of our bills to the state library, and get our reimbursement for that project. I don't think,
And that's for what?
that's for the state library ARPA grant, so
Okay,
that was the one we got this summer.
okay,
And then the Humanities Council ARPA grant, we're still waiting. Money has not hit the bank account yet. That one, we get the money up front. So once that comes and we start the new year, we'll start ordering
okay.
the items for that. I just made comment, I put in as an agenda item to set a committee date, the needs assessment that we had talked about in goal setting, that we talked about having a committee. Then the week that I was going to send out a date finder, my wife got scheduled for surgery, and so that kind of consumed my thought process. And but I think if we meet early in January and review that, and then the committee can bring forward goals that we could work, look at approving at the January meeting.
Okay, so we'll address that committee and meeting time when we get to that in the agenda.
That I just wanted to make you aware of that we have had people bring dogs in as service dogs, and so we need to allow that. So I just wanted, that's kind of for a FYI.
So what two questions are you allowed to ask?
Is this dog, I'm paraphrasing, so I may not have the exact wording, but is this dog trained, or is this dog required for a disability? We cannot ask what the disability is. And then we can also ask, what is this dog trained to do? So, and we cannot ask for documentation, registration, anything so we may see more.
Are they
of
well
that.
behaved when they come in?
If they're not, we can ask them to, we can tell them
Right.
they need to take the dog out. We had, the one of the first two that came in this, you can explain, Jean, your experience with it.
Okay. As you know, I am a dog lover. I am married to a veterinarian. I am not. I want it to be on the record that I am not anti-dog. I don't even know how many dogs we own. But we have people who are bringing in dogs who are stating that they are service dogs, and we are limited. Two of the 4 dogs that I have seen were pit bulls or resembled pit bulls. One of them, I would not, I guess to be descriptive, it let out a low growl, but was not immediately threatening to me. But from my observation as a layperson, the dogs didn't resemble service dogs that I've seen. They looked more like pets who were coming into the library. But that's, again, that's
And-
my observation and from what I've seen.
And
Okay.
one of the dogs that put its paws up on the counter. So, I mean, that's not well behaved. So,
Good luck.
and one other issue is, we have a staff member who is quite alert, has severe allergies and to a variety of things. And so that was something that I looked into and consulted the city attorney, and also reviewed the ADA.gov website. And we cannot disallow service dogs because of someone else's allergy. We would just have to accommodate both needs by potentially, having them be in different areas.
So are they wanting to be on furniture or anything like that? You wouldn't allow that, correct?
No. No, I mean, a service dog, I wouldn't think wouldn't be trained to be on a furniture. So,
So that would be an example of some misbehavior that you would ask the dog to leave.
yeah.
Okay?
So anyway, and then the other items are just there for informational. And then Zach for Adult Services, gave some updates on, he's had the adult crafting night, continuing to weed large print, holiday book display, those things. And then Jean also gave an update. So I don't know if either of you want to, just make any specific comments, if anybody has any questions.
What's the difference between weeding and deselecting?
They're the same term, just kind of interchangeable.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, I didn't know if I was missing something.
And 18 adults at the crafting, I thought that was a lot.
I did too.
Isn't it?
Yeah, it was a surprise. We had a lot of love that night, so I'm really excited, and I did put together a budget request for you guys, which will be considered later tonight, just so that we can kind of elevate that program a little bit more and really run with it, because I think it's something that could get us a very, very big audience and get people into the library.
Zach, remind everybody in November, you had 4 or 5 at that first adult crafting?
I had 5 that first night in November. And then initially we were scheduled for, I believe, December 1st, but that was the day after I had my COVID booster, which was a little too close to the sun there. So we rescheduled it for the 7th, and it turned out incredible. So.
And if you could say a little bit more about your participants from LifeQuest.
Oh yeah, and we had a good portion of that was from LifeQuest. They actually sent over several vans that night of residents and some of their caretakers to partake in that. So that was awesome, and I'm really appreciative that they did that too. And they had a great time.
It's cool.
And the first week of January, we expect to see all of you in to pick up your Bookopoly forms.
Yes.
Okay.
I still need to put jeans together, but I've been putting the finishing touches on mine, and I forgot the board today because I was going to pass it around. But I'm excited. The next step for me is just to get stickers cut, because Kevin ordered us some vinyl, some permanent vinyl that I can make some house and hotel stickers out of.
Oh.
And send those out with people as well. So I'm excited. I'm really excited about this.
Now, you mentioned the craft night. What crafts did you work on that night?
I usually restrict it to about 1, but with the craft night, I just open up the space to whoever wants to bring stuff. So in December, I actually did have an individual come in with their own project, just sit down at a table and just go on what they were doing. January, I'm looking at maybe doing some weaving. I can make a loom out of some chipboard and some either string or clear fishing wire, and teaching people how to do some weaving projects on that, because it's really easy to do and it's relatively cheap to make homemade loom from chipboard and just string. So.
And then we also have our statistics reports.
Anything you want to say, Jean, about?
Oh, yeah, was there anything, Jean, you wanted to add to your written?
We continue to have many families, coming in, and a lot of what I do, I think, falls under the category of readers' guidance or whatever. We have more homeschooling families than we've ever had before, as well as I believe, a strong attendance of people simply coming in, like even during after school times. And this is greater than it had been, say, in 2019 and last year too. So I guess a lot of what I do isn't quantified, as easily, but it's a joy to work at the library with the families.
All right, then the library stats. Anything?
No,
There you-
November was similar, gate count, some similar, circulation was back up a little bit over October. Our number of programs that were offered in November were down a little bit, and I think with the holiday and just other people are focused on some other things towards the end of the year, so we didn't offer quite as much in November or December. And then just looking at where it was, I think maybe it was on, the Wi-Fi. I wanted to point out the Wi-Fi sessions, though, went up quite a bit. So we had good use of our Wi-Fi in November.
Do you have any idea why?
Oh. No, because it could be people out in the parking lot, or it could be some people. Do either of you know? Did you notice more people last month bringing their own devices in, or?
I have noticed quite a few high school students bringing their laptops in and kind of using some of the tables, but I have also noticed some more cars out in the parking lot at night too during the Thursdays that I work, so that might also be what it is.
I think weather has a lot to do with it too, as we do see more people simply in the library for shelter or warmth.
But that's our report.
Okay. All right, can I have a motion to accept the director's report, including the adult services and children's services? Okay, second.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All right, moving on, financial report, approval of bills. So,
Okay, we continue. Bank account amount is $106,744. Let's see, we took in from all of the various revenue sources for the board, book sales, copies, we took in $923.35 and had $419.90 of things that you had previously approved to spend. So on programming, some of the supplies for YA summer programming, adult programming. So that's that, and oh, I put these in the wrong, I put these in an opposite order. There it is. And then the library's budget, we are, I mean, at this point in December, I mean, this is already 3 weeks old, this report, but we've pretty much stopped any spending. There are some accounts that we didn't spend. We won't spend all of our amount, especially our audiovisual physical materials. We didn't spend that. We ended up spending a little more on books than budgeted, but what we didn't spend in audiovisual will more than offset that. Everything else, some of the amounts are the grant projects, so the revenue from that is not in the budget, but I think it was at Monday night's meeting, some of the libraries
We put 14,000 in.
for contingency.
To cover that for when,
Yeah.
after we buy it, then get reimbursed.
Yeah.
And then the other part we put in last night under repair and maintenance, the HVAC system, about $7,000 that we had early in the year, were 6,066 over or whatever.
Yeah.
I think there was 7,000 put in
So-
for that.
okay.
On contingency to cover that, because that's not an expected.
Exactly.
expense.
So,
The city will work those back and forth. because
Okay.
That's
What you do.
that's what you do.
so
Okay.
any
But otherwise,
questions
we're kind of right on target for,
Yeah, I think there'll be some areas where, we did, yeah, we'll be under on salaries, but we didn't have our cataloger for full-time until later in May. So,
okay. Oh, that's good. Any other comments about the financial report then, or questions? Okay, can I have a motion to approve?
So,
Second?
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
I
All right, business items. First one, action to approve funding requests. So funding requests, let's see.
so we have, Zach asked me if I would slip in, and I slipped in yesterday morning. It was more than 24 hours before the board meeting. A fourth funding request that he mentioned for adult craft night programming. And so we have 4 funding requests. The first one, the adult craft night for supplies for $600, supplies or prize incentives for adult bookopoly of $300. And those prizes will range from $30 to $50 of Mitchell Bucks. Children's bookopoly, same prize amount of $300. Those prize incentives will range from smaller $10 to $50, then a grand prize of $50 if somebody really does extraordinary. And then previously, Cindy Minen had submitted her YA summer reading program request, and Zach had submitted some requests for summer reading. Jean now has submitted her summer reading program, and that totals, her request is $6,350. Typically the children's summer reading program, as long as I've been here, we've spent the most on that age group. That And then Jean submitted an idea without a dollar amount for, considering doing some marketing, putting some money into marketing so that we could potentially, get the word out more. And she did some price checking for at least radio ads. That would be an option of $1,800.
And there's certainly a lot of, a very broad range. Essentially, it comes down to, with KMIT, $10 per ad. But then it's the strategy involved with repetition and placement. And this was a high-end look. But I put this in there more than anything just to get some discussion on it. I mean, last year we found out we had very good reach based on getting every school child a schedule, they got at the end of the year. So I don't necessarily see the radio as essential, but it is a way to help the community see that the library is alive and well in another way. So I guess I threw this in here for a discussion reason, more than anything else.
I'm a huge fan of publicity. I'm just wondering if that would be something we could discuss at that January meeting.
As part of our,
I'm a huge fan of marketing and publicity. I'm just wondering if it's something we could discuss at that retreat committee meeting thing in January. I agree.
When I saw that, I'm wondering, because I know Park and Rec has an account at KMIT for advertising for radio spots. The golf course also pays. And I'm thinking, can the city just go in on a big account type thing with either KMIT or KORN or whatever, and the library just becomes part of that.
Right.
They do the Park and Rec ads, and then they have somebody interviewed down there, and then they do the golf course once a week in the summertime, and that type of stuff. So the city's doing that. I think it's great. I don't want to reinvent the wheel, but
Yeah,
I think
no, I'm
it's
just
some
open to
synergy
anything.
if we can.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, and when a new park and rec director is hired, I could talk to that person.
Yeah, Kevin DeVries has that for the rec center right now. I'm not sure what other park programs are done with that. So
Okay.
it's
But-
primarily through the rec center, at least at this point. But
Yeah,
you
I could talk to them about, is there any way that we could even be included?
Correct, and then
in
maybe
their-
better price and
Yeah.
that type of stuff. So-
And they reach out to us every year anyway for the Park and Rec booklet. So the kids can register on Park and Rec night anyway. So we are already working with them to some degree.
And then the other part, anything on the electronic, social media, advertising stuff, possibly through the chamber or somebody else that the Mitchell Public Library comes up as an ad, or if they're searching for something that at least comes up randomly or whatever, at least to get the library's name out there.
Well, there too, I feel like the chamber might have some social media strategies where we could piggyback on that.
Yeah.
Because you do have to pay for ad placement,
Yep.
but I feel like the chamber might have the quantity discount because they're posting all the time.
Right.
And Twitter, they're tweeting out a lot.
Yep.
They have a person doing that. So if we could piggyback on or get some of that, just to retweet what we're putting out.
Yeah. Which then maybe that wouldn't cost us
Right,
anything.
that would
They
cost us
just
nothing.
retweet.
Except coordination,
Yeah.
like having just a little social media meeting with the different entities around town.
Yep. Yep. That's kind of what I was thinking too. Piggyback on somebody or whatever, retweet it. Just to get our name out there that, hey, this is going on in the
Right.
library. This,
Just until people start following it themselves.
Yep.
Well, and we've talked about where we're going to be offering our programming, and we will probably, do some outside here at the Corn Palace Plaza again. And so, last year, the Corn Palace on their Facebook page, and
Well, there
you know,
again,
they
if the
sent out.
community collaborators could just
Yeah.
continue that all year long, that'd be great.
Talk with them anyway on his stuff for the summertime things, yeah.
Are there any other summer calendars outside of that Park and Rec book? Because that was our Bible when my kids were little, was that Park and Rec book.
The Park and Rec book is there. They only give us like a quarter of a page, but they ask for that to be submitted in January, and that's before we have our speaker schedule nailed down. Speaking with families last year, and or being up and around town, that summer reading handout that goes out to the kids at the end of the year, that's on it's like it's on everybody's refrigerator, so that kind of
Right.
fills that same thing. But I just think there's always more we can do just to
agreed.
keep, even if you don't have kids, you hear it on the radio or you hear it on social media, just the constant awareness that the Mitchell Public Library is alive and well. So.
Yeah, no, I agree. But I like what you said about partnering with the other city.
I think so
entities.
too.
Yeah, the city has taken the stance, especially from Park and Rec and, city quality of life type promotion, and the library should fit right into that.
Right. Well, then I'm wondering if on the library page, the quarter pages you get through the book, could you make that an ad for where to find more information? I mean, could there be?
We do have that on there, and maybe I can talk to Kevin this year to see if we can have more than a quarter of a page, even a half a page where people can see, our URL a little bit more.
I mean, yeah, because we didn't get billed for it, so.
Right.
Yeah, it's
So-
just. that
That's
there's
what I'm
But
saying, it'd
we
be
can-
great publicity to say, here's our Facebook page, all the updates are coming out via Facebook and Twitter, and, the chamber calendar has all of our things, because the chamber puts out a calendar every Monday morning.
Yeah.
And the city calendar, I mean, we as a department use the calendaring function, in the city website, yeah.
Yeah, I gotta say, I don't use the city calendar a lot. Do you?
But, I mean, we're trying to make use of
Right,
it.
no, I get it,
yeah.
I get it. Just
Because if
expand the
people go
reach,
to
right?
the library website, our library website,
Is the community page in the Daily Republic free? I've never seen it, where they list things going on in town, and I don't know that it I thought it was free.
The Daily Digest
Yes,
is free.
that's what I was.
yeah, and we use that. We
Okay.
submit, yeah. I mean, these two are, I don't have to do anything. They're great at submitting those,
Cut down there.
yeah. So on the library, webpage, using the city website, web system, we use the calendar and upcoming events, so that's there too.
Okay, I'm going to say something really catty and probably micromanaging, but could we put a fun picture there instead of the library building? We've got
That-
really cute furniture and really cute stuff in there now. Can we have just a fun picture?
Those little boys falling all over those colored chairs. I love that picture.
I do have permission slips signed from parents for some fun, some rowdy, some very, very calm shots. And I know these parents well enough, to ask them if we could use them in a more heightened way.
Well, even just, you guys have done great things with the library, that the furniture is cute and the layouts are cute, the displays, maybe even just like a new display photo, kind of keep it, so if people are looking at it, they can see like the
The
book
new
display.
fiction row.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Personal picture of the library.
Well, and if you go, not everything, but if you go, this is what Zach has done with the adult services page. It's.
Which is super cute.
Yeah.
I
I like
it's-
that, I love the buttons.
That's, yeah, there's,
I
and
love
then
the
you can
buttons.
click on those buttons.
Yeah, no, they're
and,
fantastic.
So
Oh, that one did-
that's something that even just at staff meeting last week on Friday morning, we, talked about how can we need to do a better job at our website.
Well, it's just,
and
it's
putting more
tireless, right? It's like being chased by wolves all the time, it's just constant.
Yeah.
It is constant.
you've never done.
Well, yeah, I mean, like,
I mean,
right
those of us
here.
who are old remember the days of under
Yeah.
construction websites,
Yeah.
right? And now-
That's kind of like coming October 2021.
I updated that, I swear I did, it just must not have published. The book club page is a much better example, I'll say.
Oh, I'm
Um,
sorry, I did the wrong button.
Oh, yeah. Look at all.
Beautiful.
And then if you scroll all the way down, I have a schedule out to May and in the case of Mystery Book Club out to April, so.
Oh, and those are very good suggestions for read next. Love
So if
that.
if there's a book club you want to join,
Come talk to me.
so back to the funding request, I mean, between the four, the total not doing anything marketing, 7,550.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
I,
I just
Okay.
said a side note, I'd like to thank you for having that all planned out. so
Yeah,
that
I
it's-
was, same thing, that we had it
That's
planned
great.
out for the year, you can figure out what you need to do, and if you run into something, you can come back in March or April or some other time. Hey, we landed this big fish and we need more money.
Well, thank you very much for your support. It makes our work easier too, so thank you.
Yeah, it makes it, you can order it in sequence and get it when you want it and all that type of stuff instead of month
Yeah.
by month by month,
Yeah.
whatever. But you need
I like
to know that far in advance. so.
Yeah, and it's like she said, it's nice to know that you've looked ahead and not doing it piecemeal and then, oh, now we can't get it or whatever, so.
And I love your reports too. Those are all, I mean, like, then we can see where the money went, right? So, yay.
Okay,
And then the idea on the marketing thing was to talk about it in the.
yes, which is the next thing. So the working committee, we were going to talk about, and I wasn't here last meeting, so I wanted to, correct me if I'm not saying this exactly right, but look at the responses from the survey, which we got, I don't know how many, but you were in the several hundreds.
Yep.
So, and Kevin and I talked about this, that we would have just a committee so we could get together and talk about it, so, and then if anyone else wants to, be part of it, they can just show up too, but at least we'll have 2 or 3 people that can come up with some ideas and look at things, and who knows how to do things with, with surveys. So I guess, and am I representing that correctly? Okay. So what we need is, what, 2 or 3 people that would,
I would think 3.
3? Okay. That might be interested in doing this, and then,
We don't want to do it as just like a trustees retreat. I mean, I think that Gene and Zach should be there. I mean, like, I think,
Well, and they can be, I'm just wondering, and I guess I'll ask Steve, I mean, if everybody's assigned to the committee, then that's a board, that's an entire board meeting,
I don't know how that works.
or how,
Trustees. I think you can have.
I think if you call it a meeting is one thing, or a committee,
But if
don't
it's
even
a
call it a
working-
committee, call it a retreat.
if it's a retreat, yeah, I mean, that would be my ultimate goal, is to have everybody there.
The part that I worry about is we can't make any decisions
No.
at that meeting.
well, we can
No,
make
it's just
recommendations.
make-
We could make
Yeah.
the whole list of things that go on the next agenda.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, and that was my intent,
Yep.
And so-
Then
yeah.
schedule an hour, hour and a half where we can all get together and write on the board and do whatever we want to do
And we
come up
can,
with something at the end.
and we can have that meeting, in the community room in the library.
Be wherever we want it to be.
all right, and then we would like to have that, early enough in January so that we
Yeah.
can then come to that January meeting and be prepared with doing some action. So, days that do or do not work. We normally do Tuesdays. you want to stick with the Tuesday? In January, if there's 2 full weeks before.
I will be gone the 10th through the 14th, not that that puts a kibosh on it, but going to see my grandbabies.
Like you.
But, and the next board meeting would be the week of Martin Luther King. So is there any way that we could meet the first week of January? When do you gear up
Starts
classes?
the 10th. So the Thursday, the 6th is the only day I have all-day meetings. So the 7th, I'm wide open.
What about earlier, like the 3rd or the 4th or the 5th?
I mean,
does that-
probably
5th is
if we
busy, the
work,
4th is wide open.
if we do a weekday, it'll probably be in the evening. But, I mean, we could meet at 5, or, I mean, if you would prefer meeting at 7, after supper, or if you want to meet for,
The
before.
evenings are open, so.
I think the first week would be good.
Yeah, I think so too. And then I don't know if anyone else is,
Because then we have
has
2 weeks
conflicts, but-
before we meet.
right.
Could we do
So
it
the
at like 5 and
4th?
order pizza?
Let's do it.
What day was it?
January 4th is a
I
Tuesday.
think we have enough money in the
we have enough in the
board
trustees
account
fund.
to pay for pizza.
Okay, so January 4th, is that okay with everyone?
5 till whenever.
5 to 8, just put it on your calendar, 5 to 8. If we end early, then we feel good about ending early.
I wanted to end date, or end time.
The start time will be 5 then?
Yeah.
Or do you want to do 5:30?
I'll-
I vote 5:30, but
5:30 to 8?
perfect, I think. And at the community room then, at the library?
Mhm.
Okay. And we're going to have pizza.
Okay.
All right. So then from that meeting, we'll come forth with some ideas on using the survey, use some ideas on advertising, that sort of thing, and set some goals basically for the year. So, all right. So that is January 4th at 5:30 in the library.
Our next meeting, the 18th?
Yes.
What are we gonna do for there? We got-
Oh, that's Martin Luther King Day.
Yeah, and so
we have
that's,
city council that
7.
Yeah.
Tuesday the 17th is the Martin Luther King Jr. Day.
All
Right.
that. So, yeah, let's change that.
So the 18th is,
Remove it to,
Is at 6 o'clock, council starts, so.
yeah, and
can we move it to the following Tuesday on the 25th?
Or can we
I'm
move
okay.
the meeting to the library? Do we need to be in this room? That was a discussion Kevin and I had, and we weren't really sure the answer.
well,
to
that was one thing, and I guess another question is, I mean,
Well,
Steve,
Steve's
do you
in
want a
both.
board meeting at 5 and a council meeting at 6?
Before.
And, I mean, I guess one thing,
Oh.
we would,
Just gotta leave at 5:45 and go, but.
yeah.
if we're gonna
and-
be-
And I'll just say, I mean, I purposely, I mean, the week of Christmas didn't have a heavy agenda, but we will have done most of our major discussion of proposing goals at the retreat. So I don't know how much discussion there will be of the goals then at the board meeting. I just, I mean, if we can get Steve out of here to get to a city council meeting at 6. I mean, I'm okay with that.
I'm okay with doing it that day, I'm okay with moving it to the 5th, matters.
So are we talking if we did it on the 18th that we would be here or that we would be at the library?
We would probably have to be at the library.
And that's an
I-
okay thing? As long as our agenda is published ahead of time. I think we've talked about that before.
And then I need to, and then also what Stephanie Owen has told me that, if we don't do the video, then I just need to get minutes, draft minutes.
Or let's do it here
Published.
and just be sure we're out at 5:45.
Yeah, that's,
They-
Ready at about 5:30.
I know, I think
Yeah.
that's pushing it a little bit too
Yeah.
much to have it in this room on the night you have a council meeting. That seems
Yeah.
a little crunchy.
I mean, I guess, Steve, would you prefer getting it and having your city council meeting and the library board meeting the same day,
That's
or
fine.
moving it a week later?
Is anyone concerned about having a big planning meeting where we have voting on things and not having it on video? Is that a
I would just
concern?
be worried that we have enough people, that we have a quorum.
Okay,
No, because I'm not worried about,
okay,
as long as it's reflected in the minutes. And
Perfect.
Go on our website, here's the minutes. And
love it.
Or we could wait till the 25th and then have those 2 weeks in between after the retreat to make sure we have everything we need, or,
And think about it. Does the
Just a
25th
thought.
work for everybody?
I mean, that way there's no crunch and you get it on video and solve 2 problems. Unless it doesn't work for someone.
doesn't matter.
Is that okay, Madam President?
Yeah, either is fine.
I'll put in the 25th.
25th?
then.
Okay, let's do the 25th then.
Okay, and so then the retreat, the board retreat will be, I'll just put it in my calendar, but I didn't put it on the minutes. So January 4th at 5:30, library community room. I think I already did.
Okay?
Because I have a feeling the council meeting on the 18th is going to be kind of a
You probably don't want to start early.
doozy. Marijuana discussion on that.
Oh, good luck with that, baby.
Okay, move to
Okay.
25th will be better for you.
January 25th. Okay, so we have no committee reports. Any board input? Anybody have anything else they want to add?
I will, if I could just add something to my report, next Monday night, I don't know if
It was on.
It was
got
on there.
Yeah, just as a reminder, so Anne is going to be there to hand out the awards, so if anybody else wants to, I mean, Deb, I'd sent you the email this week as being on the selection committee, but if any board members want to just be there, I don't expect it to be long. Today we posted all of the entries in the hallway of the library so that people can see
Cool.
what was, so if you want to just stop in the library this week and see what all was submitted, then you'll find out.
Okay, I have a couple things now that you're talking about the hallway of the library, is I did notice that the library books for sale, which continue to astonish me that we make that much money off 25-cent books, but they seem way better organized, like I don't know who's sorting them or how, but thank you, appreciate that. And then the other thing I wanted to say is that Danny and I got together and we did submit Kevin's year-end evaluation, and Kevin was going to take it to HR, so I assume that's
did.
been done, and
It's submitted. Thank you.
it was a terrible evaluation. That's a joke. It was a very good evaluation. That was a joke, yeah. So, yeah, that was easy to do, but we got that done, so, just so you know.
And I'll just, in response, thank you for your support, and in response to your comment about the used book sale, we have 2 wonderful volunteers.
Oh, that's,
Mary Marchand?
oh, Mary?
Mary
Is she
Marchand
still doing it?
and Joan
Not you guys, huh?
Heemstra.
And who's the other one?
Joan Heemstra. And so they come in every week now that we're back open on Sundays. They used to come in Monday mornings, but now they come in Sunday afternoons, and they replenish each week. And
Awesome.
Joan has brought in some, some of the old school desk chairs that we had in elementary school. She has a couple of those there to use them as displaying books, and so
Looks great.
she worked at the book Reader's Den, so
Oh, yeah.
her display skills are shining through.
And I can report on our committee, our book, to choose the winner
Oh,
of the
yes,
card. I was
yes.
excited about, we had an actual committee report.
Yay. Yay.
Before we go. No, it was very nice. There was just the three of us there, and it really came down to two in every category. I mean, it was, sometimes we had to look at each other like, I don't know. Get rid of that one. But anyway, the one thing we did comment, and I'm sure Zach's talked to you about it, is that next time we do that, we might want to put in the requirements to put Mitchell Public Library somewhere on it. I mean, the ones that were chosen don't have it. I don't think the two don't.
2 of the 3 don't, but
The art was quality.
yes. Oh yeah. The one for the adult that we chose was just fantastic, and you guys will be excited to see it on Monday night.
It does say Mitchell Public Library on the back of all the cards, but maybe you want it on the front somehow in the design. Just a thought.
Well, thank you for doing that, Deb.
No problem.
Hate judging anything, so thank you. That's good. Any other, I do. Any other board input or comments? All right. Next meeting, January 25th, 5 o'clock here. Meeting is adjourned. Do that.
At 5:48.
Addie have one or something?